If you're looking for a quick challenge, wanted to add some fun in your practice time, or maybe you're newer to the drums and you just want to add some songs quickly to your repertoire, this is the lesson for you. Be sure to stick around to the end of the lesson. I've got a really fun surprise I'm excited about. I'll tell you about it then. I love these time-based challenges for myself. They add some urgency to my practice time. And let me tell you, you can do a lot of learning outside of your practicing by listening to these songs as much as possible. This first song, a lot of people don't recognize it in the funk genre, but the band specifically wrote it to compete with songs that were being played in dance clubs. It's Another One Bites the Dust. Let's start with the kick drum. We've got 4 on the floor, so 1 and 2, 3, 4. The snare drum's going to be on 2 and 4. Hi-hat is going to be on 8th notes. 3, 4. That's it. Now all we need to do is speed it up to the tempo of the song. 3, 4. For this song, there's a drum fill that Roger Taylor, the drummer for Queen, does at the end of every verse. He plays beats 1 and 2 the same as he's been playing them, but for beats 3 and 4, he plays kick drum and hi-hat on the downbeat of 3, and it goes 3 E and a 4 E on the kick drum. Roger Taylor was very specific with where he used crash cymbals, and in this song, he doesn't use a crash cymbal coming out of that drum fill into the next part. Song 2 is at 127 BPM. That will be the challenge, is the tempo in this song. It's by the Gap Band. It's called You Dropped the Bomb on Me. The drum part for this is actually even easier than the last one. Again, 4 on the floor in the kick drum, 2 and 4 on the snare drum, but on the hi-hat, we have quarter notes. 3, 4. For a lot of this song, he has a 4-bar loop. On the 4th measure, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then on 4, he opens the hi-hat, 4 E and a. Already on song number 3. Song number 3 is by an artist, one of my favorites from that genre, Rick James. It's Super Freak. Again, the hard part about this song is going to be the tempo, so it's at 133 BPM. We've got 8th notes on the hi-hat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 4 on the snare drum, just like the other 2 drum beats. The bass drum goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. On the choruses, it's a 7-bar section that's going to be repeated every time we play a chorus. The first 2 measures is 8th notes on the hi-hat, 2 and 4 on the snare, 1 and 3 on the kick drum. On beat 4 of both of those measures, we add a crash cymbal. On measure 3, it's the exact same, except instead of the crash being on the downbeat of beat 4, it's on the and of 4, or the upbeat. Then we have 1 measure of rest. On the next measure, we hit the upbeat of beat 4, the and of beat 4, with a crash and a kick. 1, 2, 3, 4. We do that measure twice. And then comes in the infamous drum fill. We play flams on the snare. Anytime the snare is played, it's a flam, and it starts on the and of beat 1. So it goes 1. Let me play all 7 of those measures together. Song number 4 is by a band named Cameo with the drummer being Larry Blackman. It's called Word Up. When I was 19, got my first full-time gig on Bourbon Street. I was playing at John Wayner's Famous Store, and this was one of my favorite songs to play, mainly because of the drum beat. It's somewhat linear, but at a tempo that is manageable. The song's at 116 BPM. Let's go through this beat by beat, and then we'll put them all together. Beat 1 is just a quarter note kick drum, hi-hat together. Beat 2, snare drum, hi-hat together, kick drum on the and. Both those beats together. Beat 3, we play 3 and on the hi-hat. Beat 4, we play the hi-hat and the snare drum together. Now again, this drum beat doesn't sound like much, but when we put it up to tempo with the rest of the song, it's actually a pretty cool feel. There's a couple of variations that he plays. The first variation is a lot of times at the end of a 4-bar phrase, he'll play the and of 3 on the snare drum with beat 4 snare drum crash cymbal. So I lied, there's 3 variations. Sometimes he'll hit the crash cymbal on beat 4, sometimes he'll hit the hi-hat on beat 4, but he doesn't hit the crash on the downbeat of the next measure. The second variation he does is occasionally he'll play a 16th note on the of beat 4 going into the next measure. He does this a couple times in the beginning and then later in the song.
Got something really exciting to tell you. I'm pumped about it. These are so much fun for me and for the people that attend. So registration for the 2024 SDS camp season is open now. Now last year these sold out. I sent out a couple of emails and in 2 weeks they were completely sold out, waiting list only. Jump to the link in the video description. All of the information is at the link below. Do not wait around. Hopefully I'll see you here at the SDS studios in 2024.
And finally, the 5th song for days 9 and 10 is by an artist named Carlton. It's got the infamous James Gatson on drums. If you don't know who he is, you need to look him up. It's called She's a Bad Mama Jamma. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways to play this. Level 1 and level 2. Just like in the first 2 songs, we have kick drum on all 4 quarter notes, snare drum on 2 and 4. Level 1 easy version is we can just play 8th notes on the hi-hat. This song's at 114 BPM, and the thing that makes it hard is the variation I'm about to show you. The hi-hat pattern he plays for a lot of the song is 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. Now another variation we could do if you can't move your right hand that fast is we could move the right hand to the snare drum on 2 and 4. We could play that 16th note with the left hand, although in the recording he does play it all with one hand. Now for me, that doesn't have the same feel as. So if I were in that situation, I would probably just play 8th notes. One thing to notice is he doesn't play crash on a lot of the downbeats, and then this song goes in a 4-bar loop for most of the song. Bar 4 being mostly the same every time. So beat 1 is 1E and on the hi-hat. Then we have 2 and. For beats 3 and 4, we have kick, crash, and snare together, but he plays the hi-hat on the up beat. And on beat 4, he opens the hi-hat. That whole 4-bar loop. And that's it, 5 songs in 10 days. We made it to the end. Now for the surprise I told you about. I've got all 5 songs fully transcribed in a booklet for you, free for a download. The link is in the video description. Go download it, give yourself 10 days, and learn all 5 of these songs.